GM, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FOMO Hour. Today is Monday, December 1st, 2025. We're back after several days off. Upsimber is not back. Upsimber is not off to a great start. After a Sunday night sell-off reversed all of last week's gains, it has bled into this morning. Is it actually over this time, or are we just in a new range? We're going to talk about that on today's show. I've got Farouk in the house. Mando will be joining us shortly as well, I'm sure. Farouk, live from Dubai. GM, how you doing?
Habibi. Salam alaikum, Tyler. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it is literally nighttime out here in Dubai. So I'm quite, it's not really GM, but I guess it's gym every hour of the day. Yeah, I did wake up to a mega nuke while you guys were asleep. I woke up and I was like, wait, why are we at like $84,000 or 85K that was? And it was a little confusing, but you know, I'm here, we're back, and let's hope for Upsimber.
I was confused as well. Confused and I guess still somewhat slightly detached. So did you end up traveling on Thanksgiving Day? Like what did your week look like to bring you out to Dubai?
Yeah, I have to be here for some. I had to come here early, mid last week, for some things I can't disclose. But that you guys will. Well, I mean, you know, but Mando as well. But that's your timeline. We'll find out about in about a couple of days, which is awesome. And then something else in the week after, probably the week after that, pretty big. So this is like a really big week for us for MYRIAD. Arguably, I believe one of the biggest announcements that we've made since we launched the product. So I'm really excited for this. This is why I'm here. And then part two of why I'm here is Binance Blockchain Week. So I'm actually, something else that I'm doing tomorrow with for Binance Blockchain Week. And then I'm speaking on Thursday, I think at 10:45 a.m. if you're in Dubai at the Coca-Cola Arena. And then this weekend, I'm a mentor for the Abu Dhabi Finance Week as well. Shout out to Binance for hooking that up. So pretty busy week here for your boy. In Dubai but you know, it's good for us, right? So for first year, I'm not in Miami, missing it. All the boys are there. No our house Basel this year. Super sad. You know, historically, it's a big moment for us. I think a few years ago, we announced the merger with Decrypted Basel. Then a year later, we announced the launch of MYRIAD Markets, open beta live at Basel. And this year, we're also going to blow it out the park, but from Dubai. So excited though. Everyone's here. I was talking to Raul Pal right before Mando's show last Friday. He's out here. Tom Lee, I'm gonna try and catch him, and a bunch of other folks. Sailor, I think, is coming. So Peter Schiff and CZ are gonna debate live at Binance Blockchain Week. So it's gonna be a big one.
Big week. And I think this is the only day we've got you on the show and understandably so, with everything you've got going on. So we'll make sure to get our fill. And the Our House party last year brings me back. I think that was the Pico top of the meme market. Like Mog had just been listed on Coinbase. Mog was like 1.4 billion live during that Our House party.
Oh yeah,
better times.
Better times.
We've got Mando in the house. He's wearing a shirt, making me a little nervous. It looks very serious. Mando, GM, how are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Not bad. It was a really nice few days off. Thanksgiving was great here in Chicago. We just got hit with a massive blizzard. We've got 14 inches of snow in our backyard right now. It is insane. Price action was great. So it wasn't. It was very calm, relaxed. Like, okay, they're going to let us enjoy the holiday. Just kind of grind up, then chop at 91, 92. Like, okay. And then Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Not great. We'll get into it here in a bit. Today on the show, we're talking market report. Go through this crypto sell-off, what the potential drivers might be, the latest out of Sailor, some mixed reactions to his announcements. We've got some Tether FUD again, what we can react to that. Hype unlocks, how do those end up? And then the back half of the show, we've got Infinex coming up to talk about their big upcoming ICO. It is ICO season, and Infinex is taking part. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to our partners. First up, EigenCloud. EigenCloud is built on EigenLayer security. Extends crypto-grade verifiability to any application, from AI agents to prediction markets to on-chain games. Build anything, verify everything. And Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect powers billions in monthly volume across wallets, apps, users, and institutions. That blue logo It's everywhere. And I kind of trust in crypto as recognizable as Visa at the checkout. If you want to learn more, follow at Wallet Connect on X and Telegram to stay ahead of what's next. All right, and let's get into it. Our producer Charlie, do we have the intro music today? There we go.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Well, guys, it doesn't feel that good out there right now. I would say that I am very cautious on the market right now. I was already cautious before, obviously, but now we've kind of broken back down again. The real key levels we've got to hold, obviously, is the previous high, so it's around 80K. But yeah, all of those trend following things broke down pretty aggressively again. So people are saying, oh, it's Japan today. I mean, it may be, but I don't think, stocks aren't down that much. Crypto just kind of seems to be in its own plane of we sell off whatever market right now is selling off. Japan's never really been that big in crypto. So the idea that they are the source of this feels a little bit stretched, I would say, but that's the narrative. The unwind of the global carry trade, like there's not something that's been something going on for a while. I honestly think this is more a worry about the DATs, in particular MicroStrategy. That is my main thesis right now. Like some of MicroStrategy's debt is trading in the 80s now, and the CEO did an interview last week, I think, or at least was circulating that they may sell Bitcoin, but as a last resort. Actually, let me see if these work. And can you still hear me?
Yep.
Amazing. And I don't think that's the best thing for him to say, but like I retweeted something today, which was by a high yield bond investment company, which is doing like research into MicroStrategy at the moment, and they're basically saying that the only way they can be able to pay off these prefs is by issuing more stock or selling Bitcoin. And the NAV right now is close to 1. So the idea that they continue to sell stock, the strategy CEO went on, said like if NAV goes below 1, like they would sell the Bitcoin to help satiate this. So I actually think it's more that, if I'm honest, than anything else. Like the Japan carry trade being a worry is a worry that's been with us for a while now, although yeah, yields are breaking out up to highs, but that's been like a trend. That's not just like, oh, they've just gone there today. Like that's been a trend that's been going on for the last 18 months, and hasn't really affected stocks, at least US stocks. This feels far more like a wow, this thing is at 165. Jesus.
It is, yeah. And down 7% today on the open. Now down 45% year to date. Down, and the local high was 455. So now,
oh my god,
it was at 250 last time I checked, which was like a couple of weeks ago.
I think 450 was, but no, Mando, you don't understand MicroStrategy.
Yeah. People have been in my DMs for that one for a while.
255 4 weeks ago, yeah.
We were actually going through that recently, weren't we? Who was that guy who came on? I've got wild DMs from MicroStrategy people telling me that I'm an idiot. I don't understand it, but I think I do. And everyone's going to understand it pretty soon. But I think personally, the prefs, they need to get rid of these prefs. Like, I don't know why they had them. The fact that they have an ongoing interest rate payment, which is 736, it's a dividend, but prefs normally work by like that has to be paid or you're in distress levels. So the idea they have MicroStrategy now has $736 million to pay, and it generates no yield. Okay, there's no cash flow from MicroStrategy apart from its existing software business, which apparently is not, we're talking a fraction of that. The only way that they would get that is either by selling Bitcoin or selling more shares. Now, if Bitcoin's going to the moon each time, at any one time, then it's fine. But when it's not, like, this really gets exposed. And the 2029 converts are trading at 83 cents. It's triple C credit. Stride is trading at 77 cents. So that's on the dollar, right? So 83 cents on the dollar. These would be the sort of credits that I would be trading when I used to be a trader. Like these are credits which people would perceive to have a good chance of a default risk. So I think it's that now increasingly that people are getting worried about that, because I think originally there were three main theses, right? Maybe it was something to do with Zcash and like the privacy narrative and OG Bitcoin is selling. Zcash is now trading at 350. So if that's a strong narrative, it's definitely not a we're taking out Bitcoin narrative anymore. And people are just dunking on this thing as a pump and dump all over the timeline right now. So I don't think that's as strong. Then it was, we're about to see a big of a reverse of the AI trade. That was the case, but then stocks have been okay. Google's kind of led stocks back up to close to all-time high. They are weaker, but they're not. They haven't fully rolled over by any stretch of the imagination, particularly last week. And then it was the NNAV trade kind of subsiding / reversing. That one has stayed with us, and I think increasingly that's the one that, wow. So fully diluted NNAV. Oh no, it's 1.12. That's the one that's is only getting louder, in my opinion. So out of those three that were kind of the potentials a week ago, or sorry, a few weeks ago, as why we were so weak, I feel like only one really remains here. Apart from like loose quantum threat stuff that keeps on being mentioned. And gold has been hitting all time. Silver hit an all-time high again today. So it's again this sort of M2 global liquidity trade is also still pretty alive and well. Like So yeah, I think we could go sub 80 this week.
Whoa! So no Santa rally.
I'm just telling you what I think.
So no Santa rally.
Well, I don't know if we can get. I think the Santa rally died when we lost the 50-week moving average. We had a little bit of a Thanksgiving rally, and then it died on Sunday, pretty aggressively, actually. So I think there's a good chance we go sub 80 this week.
So I guess maybe just closing the loop on the Sailor and MicroStrategy, and then we'll move on. So like, so there was a lot of strategy FUD during the last bear, right? And ultimately they were fine. They powered through it. So like, what is different this time around? Is it effectively the fact that they owe all of this annual money now? Is that the primary difference between strategy and the bear 2022 versus 2025 and into 2026?
Yeah. So when people get worried about credit, they get worried about you defaulting on like not being able to pay back your liabilities. And there's two ways that happens. And maybe I'll use an example like owning a house. One is where you don't have enough money to meet the interest payment. So let's say you've taken out a 7% mortgage, and then suddenly you lose your job and you can't pay the interest rate payments on that loan. And that would be called a liquidity event, where you basically can't pay the near-term liquidity. And you may have to sell your house then. And we don't know if through bankruptcy, if that would be worth more or less than the loan. Generally, the way that, like, if you're taking out a good loan, that's where like the LTV comes in. But for example, this is what happened with FTX. They suddenly needed liquidity, and arguably they actually had the assets to cover all their liabilities, as has been shown over the last 12 months. But like they tripped up because of more of a liquidity issue than, let's say, a solvency issue. The second way you default is via solvency. That is when, even if you're meeting your interest rate payments, your loan is worth more than your house. So, like, you're never going to be able to pay it back, or the asset does not cover the liability. Now, MicroStrategy in the first cycle, there were questions about whether it had the asset coverage, at the solvency, let's say. And it was like, if it goes all the way down to like $5,000 a Bitcoin, it was theoretically underwater, i.e. assets were worth less than its liabilities. But there was no liquidity issue. They had barely any interest rate payments. They had I think the interest rate on the convert was something like 0 to 0.5% tiny. Okay. This cycle, that's not the case. They basically, what they did during this huge acquisition spree that they did of Bitcoin, which is what I kept on saying, is that they actually use vehicles which require some form of regular interest rate payment. So even though their assets cover their liabilities, there is now a question about how they're going to get the money to pay the regular interest on the loan. And the only way for them to do that is either to issue more stock. So they'll do a stock issuance, which would reduce the price of MicroStrategy stock, which is kind of what they've been doing, or they sell some of the Bitcoin. So it's one of these strange scenarios where they trip themselves up by adding this near-term liquidity need, and that might force them to actually sell some of their assets, and that is a worry. And even if you might say, oh, they're completely covered, right? Like, oh, they've got enough assets. The market will not like it, I don't think, if MicroStrategy starts selling. Because there will also be a perception then that if they start selling and we get like a free fall in the price of Bitcoin, that second way that you default, i.e. that the price of Bitcoin falls to a level that is below their liabilities, could also happen. Because this isn't they have no other way to make money. So I think it's just a worry, basically.
I get it. So let's maybe talk the flip side. So he also just announced a $1.4 billion cash reserve. So that's 2 years of preferred payments, right? So like, am I misunderstanding that? So they've got 1.44 billion in cash now. So like the theoretical case where they are forced with this decision of how to raise capital to pay the preferreds is 2 years out.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. What you did just say is a good thing, in my opinion. But I would still say that this is an ongoing thing. Like, if he then is just using that to repay the interest, people like, these are perpetuals. Like, right. He's put out pumps.
Yeah. He's gonna have to keep doing it. It becomes, my reaction to it was Ponzi-esque, I guess. And I hate to use that term, but when you're just selling more stock to pay off the interest, I'm not sure what the right word for that is. But I think some comfort in knowing they've got 1.44 billion in cash.
Yeah, it probably makes it slightly more investable. But I would be still worried about it.
Yeah.
As the market is going to zero again right now.
Damn it, Mando.
Again, yeah. Well, thanks for walking us through that. I'm sure we'll spend more time on MicroStrategy as the situation develops. Let's check in on some of the other prices. So Bitcoin 85.3. We're kind of we were back over 86 briefly on the market open. We'll see if we get the 1030 reverse slam here in 9 minutes that we were getting last week. ETH now below 2,800, so ETH at 27.87. It spent most of Thanksgiving right around 3K, so down 10%.
One thing I would say is that, and this is the slightly worrying bit of all this, MicroStrategy, although it looks weak, may not be the weakest here.
Mm-hmm.
There are several companies that announced credit lines or credit equity lines to buy digital assets during the DAT mania.
Yeah.
And we don't know, often they were private transactions. So people like MetaPlanet, or we had them on the show, right? Like where I forget what the name of that company was, but DFTV. Like there were lots that made it unspecified. Like we have a credit equity line to do this, and we may hear that some of those are far more threatened. Luckily, I don't think Bitmine did that. I think the vast majority of theirs was just straight equity. Although there will be some incentive for people to sell it then. But there's not a default risk, so to speak. But yeah, I'd just be worried, guys. Like this doesn't feel like a Japan thing to me. It's just my gut. This feels more like a MicroStrategy coming more to a head thing from my vantage point right now.
So
I think that's Go ahead, bro.
So I was just gonna ask. So what does that mean for Fartcoin?
Fartcoin feels like a pocket of warm air in a relatively weak market.
Mm-hmm.
Hot air rises. I've been I got stopped out at Fartcoin around this sort of level before I went to bed last night. This is when my stops were, so I did not buy it on that. But my main takeaway this morning was that I didn't want to buy dips. I actually thought it was the other way.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
decent recovery though, at least relatively to the rest of the market. I mean, you see it sold off like everything else, but actually has one of the stronger recoveries.
We really can't have it easy, guys, this cycle. Like it's so crazy. Like everything, no matter what, it's like, I wasn't getting back all bulled up and shit, but you feel better when it was strong at 91K. You're like, okay, we didn't dip to 88, 89.
Oh yeah.
And then we're just like, when we dip, it's just like, hey, we're not even gonna retest 88K. We're just gonna rip straight through down everyone's stops. It's like, it's always so aggressive.
That's what happens in a bear, though, right?
Right.
You never really get the chance. Oh, you just don't get the opportunities that you think you will to get out.
Yeah.
I put out that tweet the other day, which is like at 80K, everyone was saying, just give me one bounce to get out. One bounce to get out, right? And I don't think that's what generally people did. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like I bought some Fartcoin. I still kept, I still had much reduced risk, but like you do get caught up in this one could, if we bounce,
this could,
sustained bounce, yeah. But this feels like previous sell-offs to me now, and
nasty, bro.
The Bitcoin thing is the one that really it gives me more. It makes more sense as well why Bitcoin as well is not like really outperforming. Like those two things of us selling off despite those other things drifting away, and Bitcoin underperforming the move, they feel like they feel like more DAT related or MicroStrategy related things.
Yeah, and To be fair, so like I was sharing some bullish sentiment on the timeline yesterday. Like the ETFs were green last week, and the whales were accumulating. So like those holding over 1,000 Bitcoin had flipped at least momentarily, but now we're selling off again, regardless of that. So of the narratives that you kind of laid out, I would agree. Like the quantum computing is a real risk, but it's not an immediate risk. And the Japan carry trade, like stocks are down 0.5% today. So it does feel more crypto native, and that seems like the most logical bear case to me. Zeke, wow. I mean, we really broke down, huh? So
yeah, bro.
This was a tough one. I was in this trade. So I guess from a personal trading perspective, I did cut a lot of things yesterday. I wanted to ride that Thanksgiving pump. I wanted to see if it would go higher. So I kind of sat in my hands for most of last week. And then when we started showing some weakness yesterday, I actually cut a lot of things. It ended up being a decent time to have done that. I cut a lot of backs higher than this. I mean, Zeke was 440. And that's where I cut it. And I wish I had cut higher, of course. But then it's 340 12 hours later. And now we're below the late October pump levels. And like, is the current, are we back into just long-term accumulate hodl for Zeke, the whole thing over?
It's just not my trading style. I told you when I cut it, which was like 600, right?
Yeah.
Like after it broke down then, and then it went down to like 480 and rallied all the way back to 600 again, and then broke down again. If it's a trending down, I'm not going to fully say it's a bear market, right? If we're trending lower, my style is to always look at the thing that's showing strength and then give it a shot to break out. Zeke is showing no strength right now, so like
not at all.
The idea of like catching a falling knife on stuff, I think is a really dangerous territory during trending down markets in Bitcoin, because there's a reason normally that it's underperforming, is that like either it's a technical, like there's a big seller who's selling off, or it's more fundamental and like this thing is just doesn't have any belief in it. So the one that I gave a shot to was Fartcoin, and it had its shot and has broken down. On the 4-hour chart, I'm just going through everything that I was tracking. Even World Liberty Financial has broken down, but they're not by a lot. Yeah, Fartcoin has broken back down, to be fair. The only things, the three strongest that I track are Fartcoin, REKT, and World Liberty Financial. Everything else looks like it's heading south.
Bitcoin below 85K live. We're at 84.9.
It's looking bad, bros.
Great time for this synthetics training comp.
Again, bro. Two comps in a row that it starts and the market gets obliterated. Like literally, it's so funny. And we'll talk about it tomorrow because we're gonna be live, doing a day-to-day in partnership with Synthetics on the show. It's gonna be fun to watch, but it's funny. It's second. Wow.
Froke, so are you like? What are you doing in these market conditions? Because I think you had some trades on.
I only had the Fartcoin trade on.
Okay.
I had to unfortunately, like, I was buying on the show with Mando the other night on Real Vision, higher than this. Lost some money, not a crazy amount, but give some money, my trade back. Like Mando, like you get caught up in this is looking good. This is going to 450, 500 mil, and then the market just get destroyed. I can't read this market. This is where I can lose it all. So I got to be careful. It's tough. It's health and wellness founder mode.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I would say that is the number one way I've seen people lose money is calling the bottom of a bear.
Yeah, I ain't catching a fallen knife. Fuck that. I even missed the move from 82 to 91K, and I, for the first time in my life, didn't feel FOMO. I did think that once 90K was held, like some like Farcoin, some stuff like that would run. They did, but I ain't catching no falling knife, dude. I'm gonna get destroyed if I do that. So
looking at strength, it's the XYZ 100. Only down.
Look at what they did to Monad, dude. Look at, we were talking about Monad last week. Like, this whole Arthur Hayes stuff doesn't help, but fuck, look at this, for example. Like, brand new launch, gets a ton of money, goes 100% from ICO. Every ICO buyer on Coinbase up 2x. Bang! It didn't even give you a chance to get out, really. But it did hold strong above 37 cents, but when it dipped, look at this. Back under ICO.
Yeah,
back under the exact same price where you called it.
You had a day and a half there, yeah, but
day and a half during Thanksgiving weekend, right? So like you were off on the weekend, you missed your chance. You're done on Monday morning. It's crazy. It's rough, guys.
Maybe later in the week we'll go through Arthur Hayes' comments, and if there's merit to it when we have a little bit more time. Just rounding this out, pump now. I mean, it's pretty much at lows.
And still buying $1 million a day. They're up to 12%. The pump is acquired. I bought back 12% of circulating supply. And even in this like shitty meme coin market, they're still spending $1 million a day of the revenue in buybacks. And this is the chart. Rough.
Yeah.
This is tough. Like, this is really tough to see.
The only ones buying. Hype actually had I would call bullish unlock news, right? So the team came out and said like 1.75 million tokens were distributed. That's $50 million. It's not a whole heck of a lot. Pretty small overall percentage of the token supply. I mean, and hell, it had grinded back up to 36, but now it's back below 30 as well.
Wow.
Looks like a lot of things kind of at their local lows.
Yeah, same for Solana. 126 has been a lot, like that's been that low. It's like that. I've seen that 126 for like 3 years now. Like it's like that. If you zoom out to the 4 hour, the daily, and zoom out, you'll see it's at the low as well. So like Mando, like
Sol looks rough.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. It's at the local low, right? It breaks down here. I mean, you could see under 100, right?
In the high time frame, like, yeah, look at that chart. Like, just hit a lower high and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great. I don't like the show today.
Yeah, well,
Mando's really sad.
We have to react to the reality.
We do have to be real. We do have to be realists.
Paint a narrative. I guess if we bounce above the last sell-off, that's
I love the chat, bro.
If we don't go lower than 80K, that's positive. I guess.
The chat. I mean, Mando's quant. That by the way, he's speaking at Binance Blockchain Week. The guy that you like to quote, who's been really good. He's this really good trader, Mando. You share him very often. Yeah, so he's coming here. He is really not bullish at all. Like he's like, and he's been saying it for minutes. Like, as long as we can't reclaim that yearly open and up, like I can't turn bullish again. And he's like really like his, like, you know, he I think he's like, he could see like sub 70 even. That guy. So it's not looking great.
Well, we will see. But in these times of rough price conditions, more time to focus on new protocols, what's being built. And we've got a set of builders joining us here today. The team from Infinex. We've got Igor live on stage with us now. Igor, Jim, how you doing?
Guys, you are making me depressed here. So sad listening to this. Every chart you have is down only. Fuck.
Well, we're usually like, especially Tyler and I, we're like really good at turning a chart that looks disgusting into like the most beautiful triple cup two handles. Like we invent terms.
Yeah.
It's impossible with these charts unless you turn them around.
Yeah. Well, Igor, we brought you in to help us feel more bullish. So hopefully you're able to do that. We can have some fun here. this
Yeah,
morning.
look, I mean,
why don't you give us just a quick background on yourself, and then we can talk a bit about Infinex.
Yeah, sure. So I run treasury and commercial for Infinex. What that means is when people need money, they basically come to me. I was actually a funny story. So when I originally started, I've known Kane for a long time, and I found him in the middle of 2023 in like this tiny office with these like 6 sweaty developers. And I go to him and I'm like, what are you doing? Because you could be on a jet ski for the rest of your life in the Bahamas somewhere, but you're choosing to be in Sydney, Australia, in this really weird place in the middle of winter. And he's like, yeah, there's just this problem that I have to fix. We've built all of this great infrastructure and no one is using it. And I think I know how to fix it. And as an investor, so I've been investing my whole life. I ran a crypto hedge fund here in Australia. And as an investor, I was like, take my money. I was like, take everything that I have. That is second-time founder who doesn't need this. He doesn't need to do this. And he is choosing to spend 100 hours a week in the office. That is music to my ears. And that was like mid 2023. And then, yeah, since then, I joined. I said, how can I help? And he kind of pat me on the back and said, like, thanks, we don't need your money. I'll take it anyway, but I don't need it. But what I do need is help here and help here and help here. And so I was like, okay, I can definitely do that. And then we've basically built into what Infinex is today, which is kind of crazy to me because we started like so differently. We started with a completely different vision in mind. This was meant to be a wrapper for synthetics, and now it's about onboarding new users onto crypto as a whole, which is kind of like it's crazy to me whenever I see FUD on the timeline from like other founders, and whenever I see FUD on like what Infinex is building, because it makes no sense to me. To me, it's like it's a no-brainer. If you are building anything in crypto, you want Infinex to be successful. For me, it's a no-brainer. Our entire mission is to bring new users on chain, and we have capitulated all of the potential users in our industry. And so, if anyone has that mission, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer support.
I would think so as well, but for whatever reasons, CT hates supporting teams who are trying to grow the pie. That's just the way it is around here. But help us understand. So I love you walking through the mission. That's the high level. Let's get to the next level of details. Like, what is Infinex to those who may not be familiar with the product?
Yeah, so Infinex is a non-custodial wallet. It basically allows users to function with function on-chain applications without all of these insane hurdles that we've created. When we first started building in this space, we said, please come along and use our infrastructure, but before you do, you have to learn cryptography. You can absolutely have free money that transacts all over the world in the space of a second, but you first need to understand how to use a public key and private key. And then we got over that hurdle, and we said, cool, well, now we've built these entire companies, Uniswap, Aave on chain. And then we're like, but wait, before you can come over to our wonderful world, you need to understand which L1 or L2 you're on, and you need to understand liquidity. And so we've just created all of these like artificial barriers to stop users from actually coming and using some of our products. Like if you look at the Web2 world, we spend an inordinate amount of time trying to break down barriers so people can actually use product. And for some reason in crypto, we're like, no, you can't be let into our secret club unless you pass all of these tests first. Like, don't you know that this is how we operate? And so What we do is basically break that down. We make it really easy to swap from any asset to any asset. We make it really easy to create a wallet and create an account, and that's all on chain. We make it easy to hold and trade NFTs. We make it easy to trade perps, and it's available on your phone. It's available on your computer. So anyone without any crypto experience whatsoever can open an account today and start getting access to all of that.
It really does feel like the future in some ways. And I'm an Infinex user, and it is nice. Like I can sign in with biometrics, and I don't have to worry about passkeys or passwords, and just the ability to swap, to whatever you want, abstracted away. Like this is, I remember coming in 2021, and I'm in that class, and that was one of the biggest user experience hurdles, and everyone knew it. And I feel like very few have really gone down the path of trying to solve that. And Infinex is.
It's because it's hard. It's really hard. Like even wallets don't solve that problem. Wallets allow you to bring your assets over to their application. You still need to know what a private key is. You still need to understand gas. You still need to get over all of those barriers. And wallets just provide you with a different kind of user experience. And actually, they're all the same because the API is the same. And so you're never going to get two really separate different wallet experiences unless they build their own application. And that's exactly what we've done. We started by building our own, and now you can import any of your existing legacy historical wallets directly into Infinex. And now you have this single pane of glass where all of your assets, all 20 assets that we support, and soon, we have a saying internally, it's any asset, any chain. Soon we'll just abstract away from that. You'll be able to deposit whatever you want, swap into whatever you want. You'll be able to use it as collateral everywhere. You'll be able to use it. You'll be able to use it and send it. You'll be able to use it and spend it on a card like that. That's the dream. And eventually, it's as you said, it's the direction that we want to be going anyway. It's if you want to onboard the everyday user walking down the street, they want to use it on their phone and they just want to tap and click and sure, I'll buy pump, no problem. How do I do that? And we're like, well, let me tell you. First, you've got to go and buy this like tiny little device, right? And then you've got to write your words down. You stamp them down on a piece of metal and you dig a hole in the garden, right? And then you bury that hole. You don't make sure no one sees it because those are your words. And the guy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just want to buy the thing. Well, it's insane. And so, like, to give you an example, like right now with Infinex, it's one of the best ways to buy Zcash. You in an instant.
So easy.
That's right, huh? It's just if you have any asset, you can swap into. You can use the Infinex platform to swap and bridge directly into Zcash. And so it's for us, we built the system for us. We built it for guys like you that have been in crypto for a long time that are like super frustrated with Safe, for example. Like anyone that's been in crypto for a long time has had a multi-sig safe. And have you ever tried to actually swap any asset out of your safe? It's virtually impossible. It's like the quote expires. You need to wait 3 days for your cosigners. It's just an absolute nightmare.
It is. Well, I appreciate you giving us more insight into the product. It's now a very important time in the project arc and timeline. So we got some big news over Thanksgiving, and some folks may have missed this if they were out with the fam, but there is a big ICO coming up. So I'd love to hear more about that from you, like what it is, kind of why the team decided to go this route.
Yeah, so this is our second sale. So we just love pain here at Infinex. No, the first one was really successful. It was pre-Trump, and we learned a lot from it. We basically spent a really long period of time trying to optimize for the community. And so like we created patron NFT, and then we gated that, and then you had different waves as to how you get in to stop the Sibylers, and we made sure that all of the VCs that we got in the first one, all of the public got in on exactly the same terms. So whether you're founders fund or variant or framework, or just a random airdrop farmer sitting in the middle of Portugal, you could get access to the same exact terms as those guys. And that was exactly what the market needed at the time. The only thing that it didn't do was, because we did it so quickly and because it was really for the people in the know, if you're paying a lot of attention, then yes, you absolutely participated. But we didn't go wide enough. And so what we want to do here is we're running a big incentive program, our Crate campaign, which was super successful first time round. And so far it's been pretty live, went live today. And as part of that, we are basically running a Sonar sale. So we're selling 5% of the token at 300 mil fully diluted valuation, looking to raise $15 million with a 1-year lockup. And so this 1-year lockup has been a little bit of talk around crypto Twitter, and I'm sure that you've noticed.
Yeah, I see it this weekend.
yeah.
Well, you gotta love Kane, right? He's
Look, we're not sure of game mechanics here. We can definitely create some very interesting games to be played. But for the Sonar sale, it's pretty simple. It's if you are a patron, if you like what we're doing, if you're a part of the ecosystem already, then you get an allocation. 1 patron gets you $2,000 allocation, 5 patron 15, and so on. Yeah, that's it, spot on. And so, you know, for us, we now that more people know who we are, now that we're a little bit wider distributed, we want to offer the opportunity for these guys that have been part of the ecosystem, that have been collecting patrons over the last year, to come and back the truck up.
Got it. That part makes sense. And I think I think controversial is not necessarily the right word, but I think one piece of this that got some discussion on the timeline was the 1-year lock, but also I guess what is the right term? Like the linear decay. So if you want instant liquidity, you can exit vesting by paying $1 billion. So you can effectively buy tokens at a higher valuation if you want to exit sooner.
That's right. You can rage quit at any time. And so the point is we offer people a great price. And the price is less than what the trading price is now, even though it's an NFT, and we all know that it has poor liquidity for the NFT. Like it sucks. Like there's nothing good about having a chart which has a price which is number 1 denominated in ETH, which seems to be down only, but second is like this obscure NFT. The example is like Pudgies and Pengu. Pudgies had a value, and then when Pengu launched, it was 5 times, 6 times the value. The same thing happened with the Bored Ape Yacht Club and Ape when they launched it. And so it's a no-brainer to convert the patrons into INX. For us, it's like, how do we do that? We want to do that by offering everyone a great deal. I think the way that you build a community is first by giving them a great product, but second by making them rich. Right? If you look back to like how the Link Marines formed, if you look back, like why was Cardano so successful? It's because it made that really small cohort of people, the people that believed in the product, it made them rich. They were rich and they were right. And so they will love the product forever. And what we want to do is say, okay, well, you've supported us for this far, and so we're going to give you the opportunity to double down. If you haven't, you still get the opportunity via the lottery system. But anyway, you have this 300 mil valuation, and if we launch and it is over $1 billion, then you're in the money. You can unlock and do whatever you want. If we launch and it's under $1 billion, then you can exit at any point in time by just paying the penalty. It's just a liquidity premium. And so if after 6 months we're trading at 500 mil, then your your exit is going to be at 500 mil. And if you no longer want to participate, then you can absolutely exit. You just top up and exit. And everyone, for some reason, anchored to that $1 billion. They were like, oh, well, obviously, I want it liquid from day one because I'm going to sell into the chart. So you're selling it at $1 billion. It means that it has to launch over $1 billion. And we're like, no, that is not the mechanic that we're going for.
Yeah, I kind of love it. And I enjoyed Kane's
I don't hate that
conversation on the timeline. So if you don't want to buy in for a year, then don't. No one's forcing you to, right? So
you sell higher.
You want people who want to invest. You want people who want to invest in the product and be along for the ride.
Right? Yeah, like let me ask you guys, when Monad first announced their terms, how did you feel? Like, how did you guys have been around for so long? Like, what did you think when they announced the 2.5 bill and fully liquid?
It felt a bit high to me, but I understood the price compared to the relative raises, and I appreciated the immediate liquidity, though I knew it would likely cause a lot of people to race for the exits. I think maybe you get people in the door who aren't necessarily as aligned. I think being the first sale on Coinbase made it through an extra dimension in all of that, where I think maybe perhaps more folks are holding because of that aspect than if it would have just been done on their own. So I like the terms.
I don't find anything like crazy. I mean, so what? Plus, you guys are talking FDV. Monad launched FDV at 23 cents. It's at what?
2.3.
How did you know? 2.3. So it went up to $5 billion FDV. You're doing in a pre-sale at 300 million FDV, not market cap. No, what's FDV the float day one? Can you talk about that or no? So I want to know what the market cap will be day one, or is that not public yet?
Yeah, no, it's going to be pretty high because if you remember the majority of the previous sale, we did 3 tiers, right? There was unlocked, linear, unlock, and then a locked, which was 1 year cliff and a 2-year linear vest. Those guys have started vesting, and so it'll be pretty decent. It's somewhere between. Depending on where we land with the campaign that we're doing with crates, because obviously we're giving away these vouchers. Depending on where we land, it's going to be pretty high, like 25 to 30%, somewhere in that region.
Okay. Yes.
And so you're going to have this. Everyone when we started, everyone was hating on the low float, high FDV meta, and we get it. Like it's.
I get it,
because there's no real price discovery when that happens. But with us, it's you might even have slightly more than that, depending on how well the campaign goes. How many people decide to cash in those vouchers? How many of those vouchers are in the money? And so if you launch it, if you launch it over $1 billion, then you're going to have a pretty high flow, and you'll find price pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's no perfect way to do this. So I think this is a good way to see. I like it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's the question is like, what are we optimizing for? We're optimizing for wide distribution. We're optimizing for the community to genuinely be part of it and the community to benefit. We're optimizing for a great launch, and we're optimizing for users. That's where the crate campaign comes in. We want to show off all of the features that we've built, and for that you have to pay some blood money, and that's exactly what we're doing. And then we want to give people the opportunity that if they want to participate in the sale, then they can absolutely do that, and then head straight to TG in the middle of January. And so those 3 things for us are like very transparent.
Okay. I like the setup, and I think one of the key comments that stuck with me was basically like, if you want the ICO to go well, you need to be bullish on the product, and you want the product to 10x, 100x. So I guess kind of rounding this out, it's like, how does Infinex 10x?
right now we have a user's problem. The user's problem is that we have the same cohort of people that are just moving from one application to another application. And the entire problem, I think, with this whole market, I liked what you guys were saying before, that this market's been incredibly difficult to trade. And I think one of those reasons is because we just don't have that retail user. Because historically, when people came into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin ran, then that flowed through into Ethereum, and then Ethereum ran, and that flowed through into everything else. But right now, people are stuck in Bitcoin and Ethereum, in the ETFs, in the DATs, in MicroStrategy, and there's no flow-on effect, which means you don't get this like user that first participated in Bitcoin, then went to Ethereum, and then was like, oh, what's this Uniswap thing? What's Aave? Like, how do I explore this? This is quite new and interesting. So I think we've hit the core crypto user that could be onboarded based on the technology that we have now. We've maximized that. There's no one left, right? All of the boys are in, and we're all competing for that same pie. We're all competing for that attention pie. And so what do you have to do in order to get to the 100x users? You have to go and find the users where they exist. And right now, Binance has 188 million KYC'd accounts. There are millions of people stuck at the centralized exchange level because it's just a much better user experience. It is. Like, if you compare a SEX experience to an on-chain experience, it is much better. And we are absolutely fixing that. We are making sure that those centralized exchange people that historically have bought Bitcoin or bought Solana and then just left it on the exchange can actually go and stake their Solana, and they can stake it natively. They can actually go and use Morpho or deploy into Aave or change their Bitcoin and get some yield from it. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to entice the user that currently has never been on chain and wants to maybe play around with Polymarket, or maybe participate in a points campaign. And we're like, hey, by the way, there's this great place for you to do that, and it's safe and it's non-custodial. And by the way, we're going to incentivize you to try all of these great features. And so that's stage one. And then stage two is trying to find all of the users that could be on crypto rails that don't currently exist on crypto rails yet. That's a little bit later down the track.
Well, I love the vision. I love the mission of the team. We're all rooting you on. I guess I'll give you a chance. Final thoughts. What should folks be looking out for here in the immediate future? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, cool. So we're running this crate campaign as part of trying to get as many people to understand what an Infinex account is, how it works, what some of the features are. And the best way to do that is prizes and games and a little bit of participation. So there are three ways that people can earn crates. You can trade on perps, so directly through an Infinex account. You create an Infinex account, you fund it, and then you trade on perps. You can start earning crates. And there are some insane prizes. So just by using the platform, you can win up to 50 grand a week. We've had already 3 winners of $10,000 that just gets deposited into their account. There's punks, pudgies, hypers to give away. You enter weekly prizes and weekly draws. If you connect your wallet, so what Infinex allows you to do is import a seed or a private key. So any of your MetaMask wallets or Rabby wallets that have been hot wallets over a certain period of time, you can import them and earn crates. And you guys also have 250 crates each. So as soon as you log in and connect your socials, then you get to open crates, and you could win $1 million. There's a $1 million cash prize.
Let's go.
Huh? Okay, tomorrow on the show or something, we'll open them. I gotta.
And so there's a ton of prizes. There's a ton of noise that we're going to make here. The IronX vouchers are also highly undervalued. If you think that we're going to be a $500 million or $1 billion token. We're giving away 10% of those. It's the biggest giveaway that I think I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, okay, that helps me understand the INX vouchers a little bit more. Well, this is fun, and I get the driver behind it, and it was I think the previous crate run campaign is what kind of got me into using the protocol, and you see how easy it is.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, everyone loved it. Just like SoFi, it's been open for 1 day, and we've given out 400K worth of implied profit.
Wow,
already.
Jesus Christ, dude. The hell?
So folks, if you're looking for opportunities,
that's it. The market's down, but if you, if you just create an Infinex account and trade some perps, then you stand to win some money.
I have my username there, thank God, because I made an account like months ago when you guys co-hosted the event in Dubai with us last year.
That's right.
And I just connected my Twitter to it though for the first time, so I'm gonna get my crates and I'm gonna take that $1 million. All right, thank you, Igor.
Igor, this is fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, boys. It's been awesome. Appreciate it.
See you, bro. Ciao.
Bye.
All right, let's give away some money. That was good. Infinex is a good product, man. We've worked with them before. They're good.
Love the Infinex guys.
Yeah. They're good. They're good people. Igor's a homie too. I know it's like super late for Kane. They're all like in Australia or some shit, so it's like 3 a.m. It's always hard to like do an interview with Kane, because they're on the other side of the planet. All right, YEET.com. Let me connect. We won't have the sound today because I am on a different browser thing because Firefox works better with my Wi-Fi here. But this is what it is. Let's do a quick like Planko or something because I do have to run to a meeting.
Yeah, a few minutes, so we can just do a quick one today. Charlie, whenever you're ready, let's spin it.
Madame la Milady. What a username.
Right. Madame la Milady. That's a new one. I don't recognize that name.
What a username.
Madame. Well, you won. If you're here, feel free to chat. I think we're going to just play something for you.
What's their Kick account?
We'll see if here they are. Madame, that was quick.
Damn, that was quick.
So they are on with us.
All right, let's play a little Plinko for.
Yeah, let's get a good Plinko in and
share my window. Hold on, I gotta share a different window. How does it work? So I go this one. That's on my X, right? So you see this now? You see the games? Oh, you got a lot. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, because I'm not logged in. I'll be on better next time. Plinko. You see Plinko, right? Cool. Do you guys see the game? Yeah.
Yep. Maybe a slight.
So what do you want to do, Tyler? You usually pick our. I think we go like $50 balls, some shit.
I was 1050 is actually where my head was.
1050, dude. There you go. High volatility, 16 rows, light speed, 10. So everything's good. No turbo mode. So 10, 16 rows, $50. That's good. So let me take a screenshot. Pre-Plinko. Okay. Madame la Milady, good luck. And let's go. All right, come on. Oh,
here we go.
That's the 10 balls. Let's go.
We got one going. Left?
Oh, there's one left. There's one left.
Left.
Oh, almost.
Oh, 9X on 50 is good.
Wait, that's a good draw.
Yeah, they won. They came out a winner in that.
They came out
sure.
Nice. It's like $800 total, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's actually one of the better Plinko runs we've had.
Because you know what it is? Because when you hit a 9X and like when there's like 100 balls and there's a bunch of 9Xs, makes nothing. But it's like $50 times 9. That's like enough to like make up for like, you know?
I think we do 50s from 1050s and let the variance.
Yeah.
Nice win to end the show. Madame, the team will work with you offline here after the show to work through all this. That's going to be it for today. I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. I want to thank our partners, thank my co-hosts as well. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Till then, we'll make it a beautiful day.